Game on, ladies and gentlemen. The HCL is starting into the first week, and as you can see here to the left side we have AAA in blue starting up, going in this best of one up against mYinsanity towards the right side of the map. We have for AAA in blue Dips on the Falstad, Gadamher TV on the Vala, Sky High is playing the Nubarak, One Thil is playing Tychus, and Darrow the Rhaegar. To the right side it is mYinsanity with Araragi on the Tacita, Freds on the Arthurs, Lowell on the Chen, Shinobu's playing Zagara today, and Ace of Spades is of course on the Uther, which is probably the hero where we kind of always see him on. We have a triple assassin team at this point for Team AAA. The bans in the game were the Abathur and then also the Illidan, so it looked like AAA didn't really want Lowell to jump on the Illidan there. Of course it makes sense now that we know what they were aiming for. They were trying to get a triple assassin team, and if you have an Illidan on the opponent's team, he can really start to hunt down the Vala, the Falstad, and all those heroes that we have in there. So the strategy is kind of an interesting one. It's the best of one, so I guess both teams have been practicing on this map a lot and been scrimming a lot, of course, to get a bit of an advantage there, and maybe a good strategy for this. But right now we have still triple assassin going up against double tank. The Arthurs and the Chen are going to do their best to just like zone for the rest of the team. We have so far the bottom lane once again with the traditional split, one hero for each team at the top, one hero for each team towards the middle, and 3 heroes at the bottom lane. The split is pretty normal, and the 3 hero bottom lane is explained by the additional mercenary camp that we see at the bottom lane. We have another siege giant camp right here, so it's pretty normal that you try to just like dominate the bottom lane, get those siege giants, and establish a good position to just like take the shrine and then rotate from there towards the middle. We already have the shrines up, and mYinsanity is starting to take it. Sky High at the front needs to be careful here. Only the Rhaegar there for the heals, and he needs to E out. And Araragi and Shinobu are immediately moving in with threats on the Arthurs, always making sure that there's the threat of a Howling Blast hitting home. Both shrines now under the control of mYinsanity, and in the mid lane we have Ace of Spades going up against the Vala. He's trying to capture that, but the Vala is not going to allow him that anytime soon. Sky High in a bit of trouble as Shinobu moves in on the Zagara. Araragi is always ready for another storm. To the top lane we have Falstad going up against the Chen, so I don't really see Dips getting that shrine anytime soon. The Chen is just way too tanky for a single Falstad to take him on there. Nice master skin that we have there for Dips, by the way. To the bottom lane we have once more that attempt by Shinobu to move in and do some damage, but both shrines the entire time still under the control of Team mYinsanity. And that is always like a very, very annoying feeling when you're the hero in the mid lane and you know that both shrines are controlled by your opponent. The quick rotation could always take you down, and then the first Dragonite will go to the opponent's team. So I don't think that Vala is feeling too happy right now about this situation. And we already have a rotation. Araragi is starting to walk towards the mid lane, and immediately his appearance triggers a bit of a push out by AAA. At least they are looking for an opportunity. They didn't see anything there, and Tacita moved back, so they're not going for the shrine. But it's just like the soaking of experience. But of course with a very tense situation from the perspective of AAA, since they are starting to be under a lot of pressure here. And here's the Dragonite in the mid lane. Vala was pushed back, and Dragonite has been taken by Ace of Spades. Job well done. The first Knight usually not all that strong. They scale with the duration of the game, and 3 minutes in the Dragonite is not really all that tough. The kick against Sky High already. Nice. Good job there. Actually denied. And let's see if they can at least take down the wall. They're already going for it, and of course AAA had to rotate towards the mid lane immediately, just like meet this push. We have Araragi and Shinobu pushing in, even Fred's now starting to move in with this. And of course Zagara, it's in itself is like a great hero to push in a lane, and Araragi helps out with the storms there as well. It's no problem for them whatsoever to at least drop the wall here. Ace of Spades has another 9 seconds on the Dragonite. That's not really going to help him do any damage. Talking about damage, Falstad up at the top was jumped by Lowell just a second ago and got killed. We just saw the last few feathers going down here for him. That gives them nearly level 8 on the heroes. Looking at the talents that we have on level 7, we have actually like a multi-shot build for Gadamher TV, the Vala on AAA's roster. And on the other hand, we have at this point just like looking a bit at the Tacita build, a promote of course, but also the Storm priority for them. Falstad with the bribe stack, and we see once again mYinsanity trying to just move in and take one of those mercenary camps here. They're aiming for the easy for the easies, trying to get the already leash back to full HP, trying to go for the Siege Giants. They try to create that push with 4 to 6 Siege Giants at the bottom lane, and if you are able to set that up correctly by taking first of all your own Siege Giant camp and then the one down at the bottom, then you have so much pushing power that you can just like wait behind the Siege Giants until your opponent's teams moves in, and then you just like focus on them right away. You pick one out and you try to drop him, and it's an extremely unfortunate situation to face something like that. Those pushes are extremely strong, and even with only 2 Siege Giants, you can already see how that works. They just zone out the entire AAA team, and always like these quick pokes by the Tigers and the Vala, trying to just drop those 2 Siege Giants, but Ace of Spades can just simply heal them up. A healing ward by AAA is trying to help them here as well. Vala is already up at the front, trying to drop the Siege Giant. Ace of Spades is already there, heals one of them up, and this tower is gonna fall. As suddenly the initiation by the Anubarak. Ace of Spades is getting dropped, doesn't stand a chance there. It is at this point a 5 versus 3, or at least it was. And up to the top lane, what do we have there? The Chen still going ham on that wall. In the mid lane, the Tacita had already to move back. We have 1 kill, 4 kill, but the 10 hits extremely early for mYinsanity. I don't really think that they will be able to capitalize on it, especially since they're currently taking the camp down to the bottom, where we have Sagaras going straight for the Siege Giant camp. The Shrine's up again, and now that both teams have their heroic abilities, we have up to the top. We have up to the top actually mYinsanity going straight for that, and wow, Vala is getting attacked here. Triple Assassin going straight for the Chen, but already Rhaegar has been killed here. Dips is being attacked there too. He goes down, drops his heroic ability, but 2 heroes have been eliminated. So job well done by mYinsanity. Really well played here by them, and you can really see that it's quite difficult for AAA to keep those assassins alive. Vala had to move back after the initiation of the Chen to save herself. Now Freds takes the Dragon Knight, the second one for mYinsanity, since they were able to capture 2 of the shrines, and with 2 heroes down, then of course you are also in a lot of trouble. Oh, rushes in but misses the punt. Freds on the Dragon Knight is trying to drop at least the first fort, and down to the bottom lane you can see the same thing happening as Shinobu and Ace of Spades are moving in against fort number 2 with additional Siege Giant camp pushing as well. Freds is moving back now that he's down to 10 HP. But down there, Tyke is apparently dropped. How did that happen? Ace of Spades must have moved in and stunned him with the Shinobu dishing out the damage. Freds is moving to the bottom lane. Also, Tacita is starting to rotate in. To the top lane, the Chen is still soaking EXP and also damaging the wall. Another kick, and down goes the fort. Level 13 now versus level 11. An entire talent up, and the Dragon Knight rotating towards the middle again, trying to drop fort number 2, and successfully at that, I might add. So now we have nearly 14 versus 11. And let's take another quick look at those talents. Heroic ability is already there. Double Shrink Ray used by them. That helps them in the fights, of course, immensely. Strafe is being used by the Vala, just as a side note. A talent that we don't see that often in the competitive meta anymore. It's something that I personally enjoy quite a lot when there are not a lot of stun heroes on the opponent's team. And to be honest, there are not really that many heroes on mYinsanity's team that can interrupt the ultimate. So if you can't interrupt the Strafe, then Strafe dishes out a lot of DPS. Of course, with Rain of Vengeance you have also the stun, which helps in a lot of cases to drop a hero. But right now I feel with them having to keep their distance, Strafe is a good choice, considering that there's not a lot of lockdown. But we still have the Chen in there. We have also Zagara for more. We have the Uther for stun. So you still need to be careful of how you use that heroic ability, and need to at least wait for the Zagara more if you can. Dips at the top lane is suddenly being, oh, he's shrink rate, he's stunned, and he is so completely screwed there. Has no chance of moving away, and mYinsanity is just using the rotation to kill the fort. Takes it, and level 15 is now theirs. They will most likely get the 16 very soon, and we have level 13 not even there yet for AAA, which means that they do not have the 13 talent yet. And that's a pretty big problem. A massive push coming in by mYinsanity. They're starting to move in here. The shrines, they activate again. And it looks like they want to stay a bit longer and just do as much damage to the wall as they can. But in the end, they will of course try and move back and maybe even aim for another Dragon Knight right now. So the push already so far countered at least, but we have the rest of the team starting to move in. Always making, of course, sure that they take down those creep tumors that Zagara is spawning everywhere. and for very good reason. That vision is extremely annoying. 16 isn't there yet for them, and we have them with a bit of a party push set up, trying to wait if one of the heroes maybe extends a little bit. Already going for the bait here. No, they're moving up to the top and they're starting to fight. They're forcing the fight. They have the 16 talents. Here comes the rogue ability by the Vala. Really well done. The shock and awe is coming in. Oh, the nice ultimate by Ace of Spades. They drop the Vala first and then the Uta goes down. It's a counter kill, but 2 more die for a 4th one as well. And it's only the Tigers that survives, and for how long? Well, not very long, since we suddenly have heroes from every angle moving in. He's trying to at least drop Araragi, but doesn't get the kill. Tigers is also taken out, and the entire team is wiped. They do not have the sustain here, and they cannot do their damage fast enough to drop one of the massive tanks that we have for mYinsanity. So right now the big problem for AAA is survivability in the fights. They just simply cannot drop their targets fast enough to make that triple assassin lineup work. They had a pretty good idea with it, I feel, but now they are starting to lose even more and more momentum. And of course, not having that talent, that additional one, was a big problem. Even being 3 levels behind, like if you look at the stats alone, that's of course a massive advantage that mYinsanity was able to run with there. Maybe if that wasn't the case, maybe if they would have fought on a high level, it would have been a different story. But at this point, you can really see how mYinsanity is dominating the game. Down to the bottom, we have the first keep now, soon to be attacked. The wall about to be pushed in. Araragi is moving in there too. 17 versus 14, that's the levels. Now a 3-level advantage for mYinsanity in this best of 1 at the HCL. And already Lowell and his teammates are starting to push in, taking down the walls here too. The attempt to maybe initiate and stun 1 or 2 heroes by Sky High, but Lowell is just moving straight forward with the Dragonite. Another Breath of Fire against the creep wave that just spawned, and Freds with the threat of a Howling Blast, locking one of the AAA heroes down. So they all just move away and they're trying to find an opportunity, but mYinsanity is playing this very safe and doesn't give them the chance to engage. They had their 3 heroes in the back, all the supports just shielding the Dragonite, shielding the Arthurs, making sure that nothing could happen to them. They take the keep and they just rotate away and try to take the next camp. AAA is of course trying to get the level 16 now. They need that additional talent, and it's tricky for them to get. They can't really move out too far onto the map. They're using the bribe stacks now to get at least the night camp. Lowell is not fast enough, moving in. Oh, he might actually be able to drop. No, not dropping the Vala just yet, but Sky High is in the middle. Oh, that shocker of awe did not really do too much. Tigers at the top trying to do his damage. Here comes the stun against Sky High, but he's being healed by the Rega. Really clutch heal by Rega, but at the end he's going down as well. Look at that triple Howling Blast by Arthurs, and oh my god, all 3 assassins locked down. Actually it was 2 plus the Rega, and mYinsanity just jumps in. Lowell on the Chen locks them down as well, and then the full damage by Araragi, Storm, and of course Shinobu Zagara just go straight ham. They even bypass the keep. They don't care about it anymore. They want to call it right now. They want to start with a win into the first HCL season, and they are able to pull it off against AA. mYinsanity victorious in their first game of the league. Congratulations to the team. The heat is on, ladies and gentlemen. We have the first Playday of the HCL and the first game for these 2 teams on a Dragonshire, a best of 1 for Meteor Makers going up against PPP. And to the left side of the map we have MYM with Kuja on the Rega. We have Diablo on the hammer. It's hammer time. They dropped the hammer and they dropped it hard. Harry Hook is on the Tacita, Luinth on the Arthurs, and Aristina is on Stitches. To the right side of the map in red we have PPP with Luffy on the Uther, Gela on the Tychus, Vipolina on the Chen, Bakery on Falstad, and Pain with the last pick on the Illidan against the Hammer comp. A very surprising approach, and they are going 5-man middle. Not quite, they are going 5-man bottom right now. That's what Meteor Makers is currently doing. The bans in the game, Nova, and also then later on of course the Abathur. There's also Diablo. They start rotating towards the rest of the lanes. They were just like trying to get maybe a kill at the bottom lane, not 5-manning it just yet. They're not gonna go for the breaking, like for the brute strength against the wall here, but Diablo Diablo is already doing some damage. We have the mines there as well. He's guarded by also Tacita and Arthas. Really strong there, but needs to move back in the end. Already quite a lot of damage done. I mean, that first tower is on half HP. They were able to push that back. They didn't lose out on experience or anything else. So, not all that bad. And I'm really just like blown away that Nova ban by them makes so much sense now that they have the siege tank in there. And the interesting thing is, of course, that we had the counter pick being the Illidan. Not the Anubarak for initiation, not the Tyrael for initiation, but the Illidan. And I really want to see what kind of impact the Illidan can have on this game. And of course, first of all, what the Sergeant can do here. Sergeant Hammer is in the game, is in the house, and we're gonna find out if they are going to be able to win this best of one. That's actually the great thing if you have a league like this that is relying on the best of one. Best of threes are of course what we are used to, but with the best of one, and when you really focus on just like one single map, then both teams have a lot of opportunities to just like practice specific strategies, go for certain bans that they want, certain key heroes that they want to have, and that's what we're currently seeing there. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see over the course of the next few weeks how the teams are going to adjust to that, because at this point with I have to admit that I really like that we see comps like this. This is obviously practice. It's something that Meteor Makers was trying to do and trying to set up specifically for the league. There's a lot of money on the line. $2,500 of prize money in the HCL. We have Playdays on Monday and on Thursdays, and we are always gonna cast them. Right now, the Tychus is doing a great job with just like pushing the Hammer back, always pushing him out, pushing him back outside of the range, and that's exactly what they need to do here. But you can really see, like with the first tower already dropped, where Hammer starts to unfold his strength. We have both teams on the same amount of experience, but contesting that bottom is extremely difficult for PPP. We have in the mid lane, by the way, Illidan going up against Kuja. To the top lane, we have Vippolino and Aristina, Chen versus Stitches. So the bottom lane is really the more interesting lane here. The other two lanes are currently cancelling each other out. So we have them in a situation where with the cancelling out, there's not really all too much going to happen there unless one of the heroes makes a major mistake. The bottom lane, that's where the party is at. That tower is already out of ammunition and the Hammer is still like going strong. Still starting to take down the second tower, and in the long run, that's not going to end well. They have to initiate at some point, and that's probably going to be done by a quick rotation. Level 6 versus level 6, and the wall is gone. So far the Hammer has done an amazing job pressuring the bottom line, and Diablo is trying to move back into position. So now they can start to maybe take down the well, and the well would actually be a really good target for them. Taking the well out at the beginning is amazing, since the opponent's team can't well up any longer. Two heroes in the mid lane and top lane not doing too much. We have Diablo, Harry Hook and Lewin moving in slowly and steadily to take down the well. And there it goes. So no support anymore on those early forts that we see there. They're not really forcing the issue just yet, but looking at the talents here, well, we still have that going. Let's look at the Hammer real quick. The ambush on level 1 taking with the siege mode and the additional attack damage. Increased standard basic attack range by 20 on level 4 and the first aid on level 7. A focus on the storm by the Tacita that we see there, and really just like trying to go for exactly that push comp, and you can see that Diablo is just waiting for a target to appear so that he can go straight in. A quick D on Harry Hook using the Oracle and making sure that there's no Illidan or the hero, no ambush from any angle at this point. Once again, Gala being locked down by a Howling Blast. Nothing that Lewin can really do to follow that up. But Diablo is starting to move up to the top for a second. Wants him to maybe drop the mines again, or just go for the mid lane a bit. Kuja is also rotating down to the bottom now. They are in a position where the Vippolino is actually like jumping Aristina. It's level 9 versus level 8. They might get the earlier 10 there too. The wall here is also pushed in, just on a side note. So right now, Meteor Makers is doing an amazing job in this game pressuring their opponent. Having a look at the talents, we have Tychus with a complete focus on the overkill build. Aristina is changing it up a bit with a slam damage, but also amplified healing and tenderizer for her own build. Pretty standard fall stat by Bakery, and Illidan, of course, with the go-to build for, by Pain, for the Illidan is being used here. So, really interesting to see that. Once again, the tank this time in position of the fort, and now Luvi is starting to move in. Oh, there comes the first aid, and he just like moves back immediately. In the mid lane, we had Gela moving in to relieve some pressure from Pain. Kuja was pushing this in pretty hard, so that was the trigger for the attack that we saw by the Sergeant Hammer, putting some siege damage onto the fort here. Both teams are now on level 10. We should see Napalm being used by the Hammer, and there is Napalm Strike is being used there. The Gorge, the Army of the Dead, Twilight Archon, and also the Ancestral Healing. Looking down to the bottom lane where suddenly shit gets real. The situation is getting really heated with Pain jumping in. Metamorphosis being used. There's Shock and Awe dropping 2. Well done by Bakery. A great heroic ultimate that he had there. Oh, that was really well done. Dropping the Tacita and the Arthurs. PPP, they've waited for a long time, but now they are suddenly the ones that start to push in the lanes. They saw an opportunity and they took it. The last second metamorphosis by the Illidan, keeping him not only alive but also allowing him to disrupt the backline of Meteor Makers, and then without the Arthurs and the Tacita, the rest of the team moved back immediately. The top lane still contested. Vipolino needs to be careful. Pain is trying to jump in to help him out, and he's going straight for Kuja there. We have a 2 versus 2 with Vipolino going straight for it again. Pain needs to move back. He's pretty low in HP already. Here comes the hook! The hook against the Illidan! And once more, Luvi moving in with a quick heal. Pain is rushing in, trying to assist Vipolino, and the Chen is still full alive, and Ancestral Healing against Aristina is keeping him alive a bit longer. The mid lane, is it going to be taken by Harry Hook? He's getting there! Dragon Knight, he gets it! He actually gets it, but Stitches dies for it. So Stitches dies, but he was able to not only bait out the heroic ability of the Chen, but he also allowed Meteor Makers to get the Dragon Knight. The first Dragon Knight in the game for Meteor Makers. They are a bit behind in experience now that they lost XP on lanes, but they're starting to push. This is 3 kills against 0. That's what we currently see. The Hammer down to the bottom lane is still doing his damage, is already moving away as he sees the Tychus moving in. But up to the mid lane, we still have the heroes trying to just follow the steps of the Dragon Knight, who moves to the top, is being healed by a healing ward thanks to Kuja, and pushes in another ward. Really great game that we have between them. A bit of extraordinary compositions that both teams are running here, especially of course Meteor Makers with the Hammer, but still, like, seeing that battle between those two strategies is amazing. We have Pain about to move in. Vipolino is like healing up again as down to the bottom lane. Diablo is pushing in with the siege tank, trying to use his napalm and push in the lane. Level 13 versus level 12. That will make it a bit difficult for Meteor Makers to make any moves until they have the 13 talent. But in general, I have to say they're doing a very good job there. They're doing a lot of siege damage with that comp, of course, and them getting the first Dragon Knight is also a very big deal. Now Diablo is moving in again with another quick napalm. He's starting to really take the hit points of the fort down, but he always needs to move back so that he doesn't get jumped. And you can see that rotation with 4 heroes where they were trying to gank him, didn't get that opportunity. And it also means while they push in the bottom lane, they start to miss out on experience up at the top, but Aristina moves down to the bottom now. It's gonna be late to the party though. Gela is already moving back with the overkill. We have 2 siege giants also moving in right now. And this is getting extremely nasty here. We suddenly have the tank in position, but of course he doesn't have the hover ability just yet. He might not even pick it later on. And we have him instead like just moving in, trying to push the opponents back. Here comes Luant on the Arthurs, dropping those 2 siege giants. The hook against Vipolino, not the one that you want, I'd say. Here comes the healing ward and the quick heal against the Arthurs. Very well done by the Rhaegar, keeping him alive. But Aristina is getting dropped, and another good ultimate by Bakery, hitting 3 heroes. Kuja is taken down too. Now the healer is out of the game, and Luant cannot rely on the burst heals any longer. He gets dropped as well. PPP suddenly on fire here. 1 level ahead. They lost the Illidan, but there's still 2 heroes up. It's a 4 versus 2 at this point, and they might just go and try and kill the fort. Apparently they don't, especially with the Hammer. It's of course difficult to move in, but since they have 2 heroes up, it could, well, they could actually try and jump that. They still have Luvi. The problem is they are very, very low on mana, at least Luvi is, and for a healer that's not a good situation to be in. To the top lane we have Bakery taking the shrine, and I actually guess that he's going to fly into the middle and try to take the Dragon Knight after that. We have the Chen moving in instead, and there is Aristina and making sure that this is not going to be taken anytime soon. But the problem for Meteor Makers is that both shrines are under the control of PPP, and they are moving all into the mid lane, except for the Arthurs down at the bottom in a fight killer and the siege tank. But Aristina, that heal! Really well done by Rhaegar, but they have to move back. Bottom shrine has been taken. Job well done here by Meteor Makers. They deny the second Dragonite, but now it's level 16 versus 14. They get the extra talent. Vipellino is getting hooked and eats it. Not the hero you want to gorge though. And yeah, that's why the Stitches doesn't survive for another second. Actually, I personally think if you get the Chen and a hook, you should not gorge him, you should just move back, because even if you get him behind the wall, it's not going to change anything, and Diablo is in a really shitty spot now. Gets dropped here within a second. Looking at the talents real quick, let's see what we have there. For the Sergeant Hammer, we had on 13 the wall that is being used for the barricade. We have one Shrink Ray currently on the Uther, the Mega Smash on the Stitches, a Shrink Ray also on the Tacita, as we see for the 16 talent, the Overdrive, the combination attack. We have Stone Skin and Blood for Blood on the side of PPP as they drop the first 4, but it's an exchange, since up to the top lane we have another fort being taken out. The thing about a hammer comp is that once you try and move around the hammer, you will find yourself in a good position. The hammer is slow, it can't really just rush across the map, so always rotating and trying to put pressure on different lanes works usually quite well. If he's somewhere alone on the map, you might try and catch him out of position, because he himself cannot really do too much, but he's very difficult to engage into, and that's something that might save the keep here. Nice hook, but he needs to siege up. Oh, that ulti again! Great heal against Luint, but Aristina is in a bit of trouble. There comes Diablo, but Rhaegar is already down. Diablo on the hammer is trying to do what he can, but he is immediately being jumped. Pain, or the mini Pain. We have the mini Illidan here. The Shrink Ray is doing work. Vipellino on the heroic ability is helping to drop the keep, and now it looks like they're gonna go straight for the core here. They're gonna try and core it. The hammer. Oh, Diablo is way too far away to really assist with this. Harry Hook, the only two heroes. They can't do anything. PPP, after pressured initially, they turn things around real fast and take this game at the HCL. Congratulations to PPP getting their first victory in the league. Alright, we have our game going on, the best of one between Team Paper and Faculty, and it is once again hammer time. To the left side of the map, we have in this best of one series of the HCL and Faculty, with Green out on the Rhaegar, with Exxon on the Anubarak, with the Holo on the Nova, Lotus playing the Chen, and Sypho playing the Tacita. A pretty nasty lineup here, but then you look towards the right side, and the first thing that draws your eye is the hammer on ADRD. We have Siku on the Illidan, Leo from Korea is playing the Uther, Nika on the Vala, and Xoltro is playing the Arthurs. So once again, it's a hammer comp that comes into play. We had the ban on the Tigers and a ban on the Abathur, and now it looks like ADRD is trying to go straight into the mid lane, currently alone, by the way. Down to the bottom, we have a 3-hero setup from Team Paper, and Team Paper is my personal dark horse of the league. It's a team that has proven in the last 2 weeks that they are quite strong, but nobody knows really how strong they really are. As far as I know, they are all former LoL players, and now we already have that down to the bottom. Moving in, here comes the Illidan, picked last. There he was designed to take down the Nova, and he does that right off the bat. Drops the Nova, and Xon might be another victim. Gets away with a quick E. No, he does not. He's gonna get stunned by Leo from Korea, and Psycho is gonna drop him as well. The double kill from Team Paper right at the beginning of the match. Great performance here by them so far, and Faculty miscalculating the early game a bit. And let's find out how exactly Faculty is going to plan coming back into this, because the big problem that you have against the hammer is, of course, if you get ahead, it's usually quite easy to really drop him, but the problem is if you fall behind, then a hammer can really just completely roll you. To the top lane, we have the attempt to take Nika down. Nice stun that we saw from Exxon in the last second, but it was not enough to drop the Vala there. and the rotations are strong, as we see Illidan and Arthas, of course, taking now the camps as well, down to the bot lane. What do we have here? Leo from Korea against Lotus on the Chen. We also have an attempt to take now the camp towards the left side for Faculty by Exxon and Holo. They are moving in towards the Siege Giants. In the bottom lane, it's the jump against Lotus. The Chen! Oh! Gets completely taken down. And Team Paper is not only proving that paper beats rock, but they are also showcasing right now that they definitely know how to rotate on a map and get their kills in early on. 3 kills against 0 gives them a lead in experience. And they are starting to move in again as ADRD in the middle is already dishing out the damage. But here comes the move against Cypher. A nice use of his escape mechanism gets him away from the Howling Blast that Khaldor was trying to lay down. So that worked really well there for Tacita, but it's a lot of pressure that suddenly starts building up towards the Faculty. And they're trying to just relieve that and counter it by going straight for Leo from Korea. They might be able to get him. The heal is already off, trying to go for the body blocks. Oh, and they turn it around. Oh my god, they get the Anubarak. Just look how fast they are with these rotations. They see that the Uther is in trouble and immediately they move down to the bottom, drop one hero. The Uther actually gets away and now suddenly we have the first tribute spawning all the way up at the top of the map. Level 6 versus level 5. It's 4 kills against 0. The setup with the spider mines already. We have Nika just waiting for an opponent to appear. This control that they have, taking everything, and of course with one hero down and Faculty not even trying to go in for that. So we have the first tribute going straight to Team Paper. The Polish team has down to the bottom lost a bit of experience since Leo started to rotate up to the top. But we have them with another camp taken. And this comp is really strong. Like Arthas and Illidan have been roaming the map a lot. So in Faculty is very hesitant to move out onto the map since they already lost quite a lot of heroes. They're also missing out on the 7 talent at this point. But that freedom that they have now is being used to just get the hard camp. We have also in Faculty doing basically the same thing, trying to go for the hearts as soon as they can. But it's a really nice map presence that we see with this for Team Paper. And of course, with a hammer there, they can always just like try to push it in. They already go down to the bottom here. Leo from Korea is trying to move in on the Uther for a stun. Doesn't get that, but they are contesting the night camp and they're actually stealing it. They're stealing the night camp here. And, well, Lotus was trying to do something about it, but he couldn't really pull it off. Tribute is there, looking at the talents real quick. Hotshots has been picked up by Holo. He needs to start and turn things around for his team now, I guess. Looking at the hammer build, it's actually advanced artillery. It's the Maelstrom shells and then the first aid. No contest on the tribute, as you can see. So we have now 2 tributes for Team Paper. Not a single one for Team and Faculty. And together with a tank, they're starting to move in. There were a lot of attempts to really make tanks viable. We had mYinsanity with a tank build that never went into siege mode, but just stayed in tank mode the entire time. Tanky tank is what they called it. They played it in a few games, but that was really already a while back. So far we have ADRD doing a decent job on his tank, and of course it's later on in the fight, especially on the map like the like Cursed Hollow. They can always make sure that they get a good siege up at those positions. It's all about being in position before the opponent arrives there. In that regard, the tank is a bit similar to Gazlowe. Gazlowe, the Tinker, with the setup that we have, needs to be at the tributes first or at the location of the fight and then drop his turrets. The tank is similar. It's not really the same thing, but it goes into the same direction. So now we have level 10 approaching very soon for Team Paper, and they might be able to get level 10 for the next fight, and that would be absolutely horrible for Faculty, since the next fight is going to be right here at the tribute. There's the level 10, and Faculty can't fight, but that means that they are going to get cursed. The tank already sieged up. Exxon is moving in, Napalm being used, but the zoning is real. Nice Storm Drop. They tried to just buy themselves some time to get the level 10, and they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it in time, but not in time to deny the curse. There it is. They are already cursed, and immediate rotation towards the boss. We see Faculty doing the same thing. It's actually a smart move if you think about it. They know that Team Paper will take their own boss, so they just simply say, well, if you take a boss, we're going to take the other one while you're doing that, and we let our lanes being pushed in a bit. If we give you both of the big golems, then we are most likely going to lose so much more. So it's, in the end, a really smart move by them. But that curse is definitely going to cost them either way. I mean, we have Paper moving in right now. and the golem is already on the way and starting to move in. So, right now, the first fort is gonna fall. We have that boss trying to push down the wall at the bottom lane, but with 2 turrets on full ammunition and the fort, he's not gonna get too much. The only question that we have to ask right now is how much is Team Paper really gonna kill with this? And it looks like they want to push in. With a golem now pushing into, that hammer is getting even stronger. Like, engaging into a golem is really, really difficult. And having a hammer behind it just makes things even more unreal. So the hammer is starting to go in right now. So far not sieged up yet. You can really see how they are trying to wait for a position there. They dropped the wall. And are they moving back? No, they are moving back in with more napalm being used. The hammer still not sieged up. They're dropping first of all the well, and they're starting to put pressure onto the keep. The hammer not in siege mode either. Still a tanky hammer and going straight for that Anubarak. Anubarak is already dead. Oh, the Chen with a quick split at the end, saving his ass, but he is being dropped right away. We have Nika moving in on the Vala, doing the damage. The shield on the keep as Tacita pops the Archon and starts to move out. A good storm here. We already have Metamorphosis used by the Illidan, and he is still alive, but Holo moved in with another snipe, took down even more HP. Leo from Korea on the Uther is doing a great job healing his teammates up, but he himself might be in trouble now. The keep is about to go down though. Leo is dropped, but the keep makes it worth it. Suddenly there's Lotus, low on the Chen, but jumping in against Khaldor, takes him down! No, and hits the brew and uses his Keck to stay alive for now. So 2 kills, but the keep is gone. And Faculty gets 2 kills. They're closing the distance and experience for a bit, but of course their keep is gone. Looking at the builds, we have once again Strafe being used by Avala, but besides that it's the full the full shebang. All your talents into the multi-shot. For the Sergeant Hammer, we have Giant Killer being used on the 13. The Napalm Strike here, of course, as the heroic ability. No real surprises when we look at the rest of the build orders that we have in the lineup. We have also the Giant Killer used on the Illidan, by the way, just as a side note. And, of course, for the Nova, after the Precision Strike, the Rewind. Duh. What else? Up to the top now, we have the Night Camp taken. It's 13 versus 13, 5 kills versus 2. But this top lane is completely pushed in. The keep gone, and the core is wide open. Nice move by Faculty to drop that bottom keep while we had the Polish team getting ready to push in the middle now. ADRD is trying to go for a good setup. He has the Spider Mines already there, and he's starting to push that in too. Here comes the Metamorphosis once again, and a nice stun by Leo from Korea, dropping the Chen before he can use his ulti. A perfect timing there on the stun. Oh, Xon gets a great Impaler, but that's not going to be enough to stay alive. He gets dropped there as well. Holo with a missed snipe against Illidan, and he already jumps the wall and goes straight for that fort together with the rest of his teammates. They drop 2 heroes, and now it's a 5 versus 3, and they are mercilessly pushing in the mid lane. It's an endless barrage of attacks against Faculty, and then Faculty, they're in trouble. They're really in trouble. They're down for the count already, and they're getting kicked in the gut once again by the Polish team. They're going straight in for another keep. 6 seconds on the Anubarak. We have ADRD not on 16 just yet. He moves back with his tank mode once more, and they're just dropping the walls to deny vision and rotate towards the bottom where there's another tribute spawning. Going to be the first tribute for them, but it looks like Faculty is going to try and contest that. They are moving into position. The tank is still not in siege mode. He only used siege mode once or twice in the game. Most of the time he's gonna play the tanky tank. And yeah, needs to actually like speed away here. And Faculty is trying to go for the tribute. Nice deny there by the Uther, trying to buy a bit of time. The tank is out of position. Apparently a bit of bad pathing that we saw there. Once again, Leo moves in. Nice start against 3. Khaldor is trying to lock somebody down as well, but Lotus on the Chen still has an heroic ability. Bala is being taken out as she uses the strafe, and the tank goes down as well with a heal, saving Exxon here on the Anubarak. 3 heroes down as Illidan bites the dust, and now it's time for Arthas to become become the hunted. He moves back in the last second. The tribute is going to end up in the hands of mFaculty, and they are not done yet. They might have some trouble with their core here, since 3 catapults are currently starting to attack it, but at the end of the day they were able to actually get ahead in experience. They're currently looking at a faster level 16 than their opponent, and they have their kills now. 5 kills versus 7. Level 16 talent for mFaculty. We have Team Paper trying to just roam the map with their setup and going straight for the 16 as well. I'm curious to see what the tank is going to pick up on that level. And at these later levels, you can really tell that mFaculty is starting to do a lot better. I have to say that I love the timing on the stuns that you see from the Uther. Does a great job with that and always makes sure that he's able to potentially like stun the Chen before he pops his ultimate and goes down there. The 16s have been taken, and what is the tank doing? The tank is going for the Executioner here. With an Arthas on the team, not a bad choice. Executioner also for Vala. As long as the Arthas is alive and uses the Frozen Tempest, there's a lot of damage on the board for Team Paper. And they are fighting for the tribute now. There's also a boss on the tablet. If they get the tribute and win the team fight, then the boss is going to fall as well. The top lane, or the mid lane, is actually being pushed here, but don't forget about the top lane where we have the catapults moving in. That is going to be a bit nasty for mFaculty if that fight takes too long. On the other hand, Team Paper might lose the mid fort here if they aren't careful. The attempt to move in by Holo at the back, trying to just flank this. We have still the Illidan in position, and now he's starting to jump in. Lotus is dropping the ultimate. Here comes the precision strike, only hitting 1 or 2, and Vala with a good ultimate gets denied in the end, but they are moving in, trying to drop the Chen and the Anubarak. The Chen is extremely low, gets healed up in the last second. The tank barely alive, but Soldier on the Arthas is already dead. Nika on Vala moves back, as is the tank, and it looks like we see the Illidan being dropped now too. Illidan goes down. It's 7 kills for 7, and it has been a long time since we've seen Team Paper get any kill in this game. Suddenly the mid lane is exposed. The boss down here is also being attacked, and we have Cypher moving in to take down the catapults that are starting to damage the core once again. So they lost the keep earlier, and that was really where Team Paper had their strongest phase in the game. In the mid lane, when they hit the level 10, the level 13, they moved in, they utilized the tank and dropped one of the keeps, did a great job with that. But since then, since we started to have the 13 talent for mFaculty and the 16, it's more and more shifting into the direction of mFaculty actually. The Hammer not really getting the setup that he wants here. They are getting that top boss on the other hand. They're getting the boss here, and now again they have the top lane pushing, and the top lane doesn't have a keep anymore. So this boss has to be taken out. They cannot simply ignore the boss, mFaculty that is. So they are moving towards it and trying to get that. Down to the bottom we have another Golem on the other hand pushing towards that bottom keep that we see for Team Paper. Nearly a level ahead. Well, not quite, exaggerating a bit here. It's like half a level that mFaculty is ahead right now. And 2 tributes. Another very important fact here is the next tribute that they are going to get will curse Team Paper. Polish team here dropping the boss and moving back, as we see also still mFaculty trying to hunt down the boss there. That exposes the tribute. 10 seconds for the tribute, and they are still trying to drop the boss fast enough, but that gives, of course, Team Paper time for the setup. They're getting in position, they can set everything up right now, they're already occupying the party bush, the Hammer is there as well, could siege up if he wanted to. Nika is currently channeling, and they abandon. They know, mFaculty abandons, they know it's only the first tribute, they can let that go. They can let it go, they don't have to fight for that at this point. So we have another mercenary camp pushing the top lane now. We see 18 versus 17 on the levels. And we might have another fight here, since mFaculty is starting to move in. Lotus isn't doing anything. The Napalm there would have denied that for now. And both teams just eyeing each other. Not really doing anything just yet. Looking at those talents again. The Arthas here with Spell Shield and Stone Skin, so going for a full tank build. And look at that DPS with double Executioner, with a Blood for Blood, with a double Giant Killer that we have. But on the other hand, Nova now even with the overdrive, and that allows it to do a ton of DPS. Down there to the right, to the mid lane, we have once again an opportunity maybe for mFaculty to put some pressure on, but they see the tribute spawning. And that's the more interesting part right right now for them. They want to get the tribute, and they're already getting in position for it. And here, both teams angle for it. Team Paper has to fight. They have no other choice. They are going to be cursed if Faculty gets that tribute. This fight could determine the outcome of the game, or at least it could bring in Faculty way ahead if they win the fight. And now both teams trying to go for it. Arsenal being used there by Nika on the multi-shot. We have the first few Spider Mines already set up. Another quick stun against the tank. The burrow in, he goes for it. Here comes the immediate metamorphosis. The tank being attacked but healed. Oh, nice strafe by the Vala. Really well done, uninterrupted. And Nova is being attacked. Here comes the Illidan, but nice save. Really well done with the Arthur's shield and the Rhaegar as well, keeping the Nova alive. The Illidan, he drops, and suddenly the turnaround as Uther is dead and Vala is going to die. Or will she survive? It looks like she might. We have Arthur's moving back and even dropping a quick Howling Blast to make sure that he is not going to fall. But we have the tank going down. He got disassembled there. And now, of course, the curse for Faculty. And Faculty is in complete control of this map right now. They haven't lost a hero in a long time. 10 kills versus 7, and Faculty is moving down to the bottom lane, and they are starting to push in that wall. They are taking down the towers, and now they can go and get the keep. Another 6 seconds on the Illidan, another 10 on the Uther, 19 on the tank, and nothing that does real damage here anymore. Nika, with the battle momentum that he has, is using another strafe, pushes the opponent back, and actually saves the keep for now. He saves the keep for now. Very interesting to see Faculty move back like this and not trying to drop it, but they apparently try to play it safe. It's probably just a call to say, like, listen up guys, we are 19, we will have the 20 faster, we've won every single team fight in the last 10 minutes. If we get the 20, they won't stand a chance at all. We can force a fight on the 20 with the extra talent, and then we go in. On the 20, they will get triple resurgence, and also, of course, Nova potentially with a blink there, depending on what exactly they want to go for. The top fort has been lost. That brings them very close to the 20. Top fort is down, and we see them just like take one camp after another. Team Paper, what can they do right now? It doesn't really look like they get the fights that they want. They play the tanky tank build that we talked about earlier, where you don't go into siege mode, or very rarely, and it works out really well. So at this point the initiations are good, but it's just like that resilience that we see from Faculty that really keeps them alive, especially with Illidan trying to jump the Nova. Tassadar and Rhaegar are doing an amazing job keeping the Nova alive, and with that happening, it's just absolutely insane to see how those fights go, because they can't drop the Nova. And talking a little bit about that Nova in particular, look at the damage output in itself. 47,000 on the Vala thanks to the strafe. We have 39,000 on the Hammer. Nova still with 35, but this is like pretty telling that the top 2 heroes are playing for Team Paper. The siege damage on the other hand, Tassadar with 111,000, tank only at 60 because he doesn't use tank mode all that much. We have the golems now pushing for both teams. This one is of course dangerous to the core. We talked about this earlier. There's no keep, but we see the same scenario now at the bottom lane as Faculty starts to drop the keep, and they have a boss pushing in here as well. They move back again. Okay, they wait for the boss. They should really fight here. I'm not sure if I agree with this decision here. Of course, you risk a lot. If you get wiped, then this golem might end the game. But you have the level 20 talent. You haven't lost a single fight within 10 minutes, and you have a golem pushing core. I personally would have liked the Faculty to attack them. They allow Team Paper to get the... They actually allow Team Paper to get the 20 now. And I wouldn't have done that. They have Resurgence up, or they should have Resurgence. Let's look at the talents. They have double Resurgence, they have the Bolt of the Storm, the Twilight Archon, and also the Storm Shield. With all those talents, they should have fought there. I feel that now Team Paper has a chance of coming back into the game. And I would not have willingly given them that chance. Even if you get wiped here, even if you get completely wiped, it still means that you have a double resurgence and that you have 2 heroes up that might be able to delay. But I personally would have loved to take that fight. So, be it as it may, we have currently, let me look at the 20s, we have double blink, oh, and that big upgrade, of course, on the stun on the Uther. So this is starting to get, this is going to get interesting now. The 20 can change a lot here. The level 20 could change the outcome of this game, and Faculty had a pretty good lead. Are they going to be able to win the team fights still? Good stun attempt, being dodged though. Well done. We have once more the attempted channel. Is it going to be denied? Yes, there comes the napalm once more, being dropped by the hammer. He goes for the mines again. Another attempt to channel by the Chen here. Khaldor maybe in a bit of trouble. Is he going to get that channel? Yes, he's going to get it. That's the tribute here for Team and Faculty. And what is Team Paper going to do? It's extremely like misleading at this stage of the game when you're looking at a situation where you always want to fight but you don't know if you really can. They're apparently trying to go for the keep here. So Team Paper is starting to push that in and trying to find an opportunity to drop a hero and take that fight. But right now Faculty is playing this very passive. Both teams still have 2 forts up, and that advantage that we saw earlier for and Faculty is now kind of gone. They have a bit of a stat advantage, and they still are in a position where they didn't lose a team fight within the last 10 minutes. But the 20 might change that, as already pointed out before. Looking at the tank, especially, we have a resurgence on the tank, a resurgence on the Arthurs, double blink on Vala and Illidan. And that might help them to stay alive a bit longer and maybe get the mobility to drop the Nova. Here we go. Immediately the triple stun. Holy mother of God. And the precision strike. But Exxon is nearly down. The Chen about to die as he uses heroic ability. Illidan is just blinking away the last second. Vala is doing the same thing. Oh, resurgence for the tank kicking in now as he dies. Khaldor is getting dropped too, but he as well has resurgence still up. But it's just impossible for Team Paper at this point to drop a single hero. They are trying and they're doing a good job with the initiations, but at the end of the fight, the outcome is always the same. It's like dead heroes for Paper, and, well, in Faculty with, as you can see, not a single loss. It's just that extremely tanky Chen and that stun on the Anubarak that helps them so much. And, well, I have to admit that especially the Tacita and the Rhaegar are doing overtime here, keeping the heroes alive. They are putting in so much work. If you ask me, they should get a raise. I mean, those boys, they don't mind the long hours apparently. They really put them in. So, well done. To the right side of the map, let's see what we're gonna see there. We have actually Leo from Korea together with Khaldor starting to move in, trying to check that out. And, well, I'm not really quite sure what they can do right now. It's gonna be the tribute fight again. Both teams are waiting for that tribute. It's a 2-level lead now for in Faculty, and this time we have Team Paper again in the position where they have to fight. They have to go for that. There we are, up at the top, and Lotus, initiates against the tank. He's being attacked and drops the ultimate before Uther can stun him. Nice metamorphosis, catches a good one, and maybe the Illidan. No, Uther is already down. He's gonna, of course, fight in the battle a little bit longer. Nice heal by Rhaegar. Exxon is still alive, but Chen is dead. Chen is dead, and that might be what they needed here. Nika is trying to go in and get maybe a kill, but the Uther is now gone. The tank has been sniped. Holo is paying for it with his life, though. We have 2 heroes still up. Khaldor running away, and Illidan is moving in. He's still on full HP. If he can deny it for long enough that they're not getting cursed, maybe they can do something. Nika is just now TPing back, and no, the Rhaegar is going to get it, and this is going to be cursed. This is the curse, and it is probably going to drop the second keep. It might be game. We have 3 heroes against 4 right now. That's the current count. The boss is being taken up at the top lane, and this is gonna get extremely nasty right now. The entire time, Team Paper is just basically ramming their head into a wall, and that wall is called Chen. But in the last fight, he finally died. He finally died. So did the Nova, and Nova actually lost her stacks. Like, she had gathering power, and therefore she is still a bit weaker in the next fight. Maybe, but just maybe, that's what they needed here to be able to turn things around again. But it looks like they're gonna at least lose a keep. It's all about the team fights now, though. Keeps mean a lot, of course, but the team fights are the more important thing. We have 2 keeps still alive, 4 team and Faculty, but Paper is now only on one single keep. And are they going to lose this? I do not think so. The problem is that there's another boss already taken. The boss down to the bottom is being taken right now. And what exactly are we going to see up here to the top? Yep, the keep is being attacked. Pressure, the golem going for it. The boss trying to dish out the damage. Oh, actually stuns 3 heroes. What? And yeah, he's going to die in the end without killing anything. But of course, the more dangerous part, I feel, is this bad boy down here, trying to move in and do the damage against Core. They have to meet that. They have to meet that and attack it. The good thing for Team Paper is, first of all, they're only 1 level behind. Earlier it was 2, now there's only 1 level. The second thing is, their curse is over. Once they deal with the golem, the worst is done. Then, Faculty will need 3 additional tributes. The problem with this is that while they're taking care of the curse, it looks like we're gonna see Faculty just bum rush that 3rd keep, and they're gonna get that easy peasy, and then only the core is left. So a very, very tricky position for them to be in. The keep is falling, they can't change anything about it, and Faculty is moving back again. And Faculty is moving back again. They really don't want to fight. And Faculty, they know that they've won all these fights, but they don't want to risk it, they want to play it safe. But there comes the potential team fight. Vala is out of position. Vala isn't there. Here comes the stun, not hitting anything. Oh, Metamorphosis being used, and immediately the attack against the Nova. Nice ultimate by Nick, and a great stun by the Uther, but he gets dropped once it's done. That precision strike doing a lot of damage. Khaldor about to die. He still has Resurgence up, but this is now trouble. This is spelling trouble here. It's a 5 versus 4. And it looks like Faculty is still not fighting. They're still not going for it. I mean, I appreciate when a team plays it like very patiently and is trying to just like run with an advantage. But why on God's green earth would you not attack into 4 heroes and try to drop that core when you have all keeps down and you are in such a spot? Now they move in. They have another 30 seconds. Apparently they only wanted to get the Knights, the Siege Giants. Okay, I can appreciate that. Starting to pressure them now even more. Can they get that though? Only 20 seconds until the Uther is going to be back into the game. And they go for the core now, are they? Oh, the Illidan just barely surviving here. Another nice strafe by the Vala, getting the damage in. Khaldor is in trouble though, but Exxon as well. The Arthas is down for 60 seconds. This might be the final death blow, and it looks like it's going to be. Team Paper with an amazing start with their hammer comp is not successful here. We have the victory for Faculty in their first game of the first season of the HCL. Congratulations to Faculty taking the best of 1 against Team Paper. The heat is on in game number 1, and also the last game of the best of 1 series. Ouiski Coca going up against Team Alternate here at the HCL in our first play week. We have Ouiski on the Stitches, Nasty on the Hammer, yes you heard right, another Hammer, Blowed on the Zeratul, and Ravi playing the Brightwing as Exploding plays the Falstad. To the right side of the map in red we have Krollo for Team Alternate on the Uther, Varsil on the Anubarak, Gluehammer is playing Tychus, Mopsio is salty because he didn't get the Stitches, he has to play Arthas today, and Guccio didn't get his Abathur either, he's playing the Nova right now. So, let's find out how the hammer comp is gonna pull it off, or if the hammer comp is gonna pull it off this time. It's actually a really interesting lineup that we see for Ouiski Coca. They have the Stitches to hook a hero into the range, they have the Brightwing who can always like assist with Polymorph, can even push with heroic ability opponents back when they get too close to Nasty on the hammer. It's a very nasty hammer, I like that by the way, a really nasty hammer. And then also, of course, we have the Falstad for damage. We have the combo between the Stitches, hooking someone in, the Void Prism being dropped then to like isolate the hero. Also, of course, the opportunity to just combo that with an ultimate on the Falstad and release the Void Prism. That works quite well. You need to have good communication for that. On the other hand, down there now we have to the left side another attempt to hook someone in. Blowed on the Zeratul, already a bit low. At the bottom lane, Exploding versus Varsil. We have Falstad versus Noob. Up to the top, Guccio on that Nova. Nova for Guccio and Nasty on the hammer. That nasty hammer in the mid lane. And everywhere, just like mines. Glue Hammer needs to be careful there. Glue Hammer versus Nasty Hammer. Which hammer is better? Glue Hammer best hammer or Nasty Hammer best hammer? We're gonna find out in this game. The snipe against... Oh, the hook. The attempted counter hook by Ouiski. Both teams really just like dancing around each other now. Oh, but Ouiski might have overextended there. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. Zeratul is blinking away. Nice holo being used by Stitches. Oh, and first blood maybe. The Nova gets away on the road. No, she doesn't! Yes, she does! No, she doesn't! Oh, Zeratul and Nova kill each other. Both stealth bitches die. And I personally like that a lot. Me playing a lot of Valor or Falstad, I like it when the stealthers die. At least when it's the other one. But I love that. Zeratul, like, balls to the walls, blinks in, gets locked down by the Arthurs. A nice reaction, by the way, by Mopsio here to lock him down this fast. And then we see in the last second the Zeratul still dishing out the damage to catch the Nova here. So really well done. I like that a lot. That was fun. Starting towards the mid lane, we have Gluehammer about to move in. Nasty is starting to push that back too. And, well, down to the bottom lane. Actually, at the top lane. Oh, mid lane first. Gluehammer once again pushing that back. But top lane, we had a quick engage against Ravi. That didn't work out too fast. At least we had the Arthurs there in position as well. Down to the mid lane. Let's see, we have 3 heroes currently going there. Guccio is still in a position for that. Still trying to check that out. Oh, sorry, the abilities we're going to show them a bit later. For now, we're just going to look at the first tribute. The Brightwing, of course, can jump in if it comes to a really difficult fight. We have Nasty now getting in position to capture as Ouiski and Blown are in the bush and go straight for Gluehammer. And Gluehammer's trying to get away, but there comes the hook! And Tychus is getting dropped, but also Blown, the Zeratul, doesn't stand a chance as Mopsio and Team Alternate are moving in. Vasil is moving out, he's extremely low. Brightwing blinked in already. We have Krolo the Uther trying his best, but he gets hooked as well. And Exploding jumps in with a quick barrel roll and tries to push him out, maybe drop him. Doesn't get an opportunity to do that, but still, they get the tribute. Well played by them. Oh, but maybe Nova with a quick snipe against Ravi. Doesn't get the kill on the Brightwing though. So both teams really starting to get a bit feisty here. Starting to move in, and it looks actually really nice so far for Alternate, I'd say. Even though they lost the tribute, they are ahead in levels. They get the faster level 7. They are roaming the map really well. But I love how Ouiski Coca is not showing any sign of respect here. They're just like moving in, dropping opponents, and it's super fun. Like, it's really nice to see how they are always just like jumping in with the Falstad, with the Zeratul, both of them going for those barrel rolls, the blinks towards their opponent, trying to chase them, trying to put the pressure on. And it's just both teams trying to force the other team into submission. Vasil and Exploding still fighting it out in the bottom lane. And we also have once more the Arthurs and Nova looking at the hammer mid lane. Let's see if they can actually like jump in and take that on. There we go. Nasty moves back, and the job well done. So we have one night camp pushing towards the mid lane, but for both teams actually. And let's see what's going on with the tribute now. We have the setup already for ATN. And oh, the hook broken, but still no tribute called. Oh, Mopsio is moving in. Here comes Gluehammer with the overkill. And a lot of damage dealt by Alternate. But Arthurs is in trouble. The blink away by Bloat. Oh my god, the Arthurs is alive. No way. No way the Arthurs survived that. How on earth? Gluehammer goes down, and again the blink away by a blow. Ouiski is getting stunned, but there's nobody to drop him. There is nobody to drop him down. That was not well done here. Well, it was a little bit unfortunate, I'd say. Level 9 for both teams. A missed snipe by Guccio. Yeah, well, hooking the holo here doesn't help them, but Vasil moves in with another stun. They are so low. Just look here at the top left. The entire team is half HP right now. This is extremely difficult for them now to pull off. and at the end Alternate is really getting that tribute there. But extreme nice fight that we had. I have still no idea how the Arthur survived. Like, it looked like a Zeratul fart would have taken him down, but he just somehow got away. The last crucial hit was missing. Oh, Bloat might be in trouble there as Arthurs and Nova are going for him, but he can jump away once more, so he gets that done. We have also the mid lane once more being a bit pushed in by Nasty and the rest of the team, but as the boss at the top lane is being taken, let's look at the talents real quick. Hammer going for advanced artillery for Maelstrom, for the Maelstrom shells. First aid being used by Bloat and by him here. Block at the front since there's a lot of right click damage on the side of Alternate. Overkill build for Tychus, Arthurs with the stat. Oh my god, Syndragosa. Wow, I have not seen Syndragosa in an eternity. That is really interesting now, especially with the hammer. And triple tap for Nova. No precision strike, but triple tap for Nova. The boss down here taken. Ouiski Coca is giving up the tribute at the top. The boss is already pushing in, and this is gonna get interesting now. Triple tap for the Nova, and we have Syndragosa being used by the Arthurs instead of the Army of the Dead. Makes it harder for him to stay alive, but with a good Syndragosa, he might be able to get the lockdown on the tank and maybe a few more heroes to drop them together with the Anubarak, who would initiate in and then stun the opponent's team. So, up here we have Mon 4 taken out to the bottom lane. The same is going to happen as the boss is pushing in with Ouiski Coca. It's level 12 versus level 12. Both teams are pushing, and now the only question is, can you outpush a tank? It looks like you can, since they are already being it back. That wall is going to be gone, and there we have it. Everything is slowed down. The towers aren't shooting anymore. Syndragosa has been used. They're trying to drop the wall, and then they're just going to move back. That also makes sure that that golem, that boss, still has quite a lot of HP. Even stuns the Stitches here. Didn't get any cannon shots or like tower shots against him, thanks to the Syndragosa. But with 2 tributes, we have Ouiski Coca in a position where they have to fight for it. They have to fight for the tribute, and that might cost them a keep. Probably not, but they're taking damage on it. Okay, so the boss is down. The golem is down. Down here, the setup. Where's that hook? Where is that hook? And there it is! Oh, and the eats immediately. Gluehem is way too far out. Look at that Void Prison. Great positioning there. Oh! The stun just before the Falstad gets his ultimate in. And now the first kill against the Anubarak then after all. Once more the hook, this time against Gluehammer. He moves back, the Tychus is in trouble. Oh, and gets zapped by the Falstad. Blow jumps in, down goes Guccio as well. 3 heroes down, and an amazing battle by Team Ouiski Coca. It was a great hook that we saw by the Stitches, that Falstad ultimate. It's a combo that you want to go for. That oh so important combo. Oh, the fly in by the Falstad. Yeah, misses it a little bit. The snipe. Oh, and the hook doesn't hit either. Great job by Guccio here on the Nova. Really well done. But yeah, coming back to the original point, like, it was really so well done by the Stitches. Down here, Stitches gets the hook, drops in, Void Prison is getting dropped so that the rest of the team can't move in, and then even the Falstad immediately trying to use his ultimate to just drop the hero as fast as he can, but interrupted by Uther. Great job on the Uther here, but at the end then, the problem of course was still that the rest of the team was trying to move in. It was, by the way, not the Tychus that was hooked. The Tychus was going into Odin form here, which was really nasty for them, since he had to walk the entire way up there. So it was a very good setup that we saw for Ouiski Coca. Well coordinated, good setup, and really well done. And now they have the second tribute, so the next tribute is going to be the important one. We have both teams here still with 5 forts. We have 2 kills versus 6 kills in favor of Ouiski Coca. Uh-oh. Tribute in a really good spot for Alternate. Alternate is already in position. Way faster than Ouiski Coca. But again, heroic abilities. Do we have that hook? Do we have that Void Prison? They're gonna try and look for it. The Stitches is here. The Falstad is not. And here comes the engagement as Mopsio starts moving in on the Arthurs. Nice! Oh my god. That Void Prison was awesome and horrible at the same time. Mopsio is about to go down. The tank can't drop him. The tank can't drop him. Nasty is trying. It's a kill for a kill as Anubarak dies and the Stitches drops as well. But the tank moving out there in the last second. They move in against the Nova and the Arthurs. Mopsio. Oh. God, they dropped the Uther as well, but they don't get the Arthurs. Here comes Gluehammer. Oh, he overextends quite a bit there. Needs to be super careful now. If there's a blink by a blow, he might go down. The fly-in is gonna drop him. Well done by exploding. Guccio is also moving in now, but it's another kill that they might get here. Nice barrel roll by Guccio. They get that tribute. The curse is on. Mopsio dies. Really well played by Ouiski Coca. These boys are on fire. And that last fight there, that Void Prison was amazing in the sense that it trapped right off the bat 3 heroes and isolated them from the fight. But then the ultimate came in on the false stat, and because of the Void Prison, it didn't really hit all that much. So the coordination there was a bit off. The ultimate from both heroes was actually great. It was a good false at ultimate too, but it was just like that the communication wasn't there to get the best out of the two of them. But it worked well for Ouiski Coca at the end of the day. They played that really well, did a great job with it, and now they're pushing in against the keep. They're trying to get the keep here. They're not playing around. Up to the top we had the Anubarak still trying to protect the top lane, but he already just jumped back in. Here we have Nasty still in siege mode. They're trying to get the damage in. The eats against. Oh damn, that is annoying. The Tychus is going out in the last second. Here comes the stun. The stun follow-up takes him on. Uther is down though. Syndragosa moving in. The Tychus. Oh my god. He drops 1. He drops 2. He drops 3. And down goes the tank. No, he actually. Does he survive? He might not. No, he's not gonna survive that. No way. Not with Mopsio moving in. Here comes that Howling Blast, and goodbye Nasty. It's a team wipe. It's a complete team wipe that we have here. What a game. God, this is better than not quite, but it's really good. 16 versus 16, nearly the 17 now, and we have Alternate moving in. Maybe Ouiski Coca a bit too greedy trying to get the keep down here. It was so close. Like, look at the hit points there. They just barely didn't get it. But what a great fight. Oh god, I love this game. 8 kills versus 11. It's so awesome to see that. These battles that we had, these setups by Ouiski with a Stitches hook, and then of course Alternate turning things around. The last fight where we had that Void Prism once again not really working all that well. Zeratul has to communicate that a bit better. We saw the Stitches going in and really just like eat one up, and then suddenly there was the Zeratul Void Prism and kind of trapped him. We saw then Tychus nearly instantly being dropped in health, but he hit the Odin button fast enough, and that Uther dying for a cause, moving in with a stun, and it was just that follow-up with a DPS output from the Tychus that did so much damage. This is a great game. It's a really, really good game. And of course at the top lane now, the second boss also ends up in the hands of Team Alternate. They be back already, and they apparently have their spider senses tingling and realize that something is going on here. Probably was the tower just now taken. Did they see that? They're moving in over here. Uh-oh, Ouiski. Oh, that Void Prism. This is exactly what we've been talking about. This is amazing. And he goes down. Vassal is not going to make it here. Or is he? Oh, no. Great false ultimate again. Exploding with a great move. But that ability by Krolu. He dies for it, though. 2 heroes down against 1 down. Once again, the Arthur's getting slowed by the Zeratul. Moving in, Gluehammer on the Odin, doing as much damage as he can as the Arthur survives. Holy mother of God! Guccio drops the false that as they overextend, and the tank goes down as well. Oh, the Zeratul, he gets annihilated there too. It started out so well for them. A good Gorge, and then that move with the Void Prison. It's exactly those corridors that you want to hit. Ouiski Coca, they are playing a great game, but at the same time it's now looking more and more like we are going to see Alternate taking this game. They are not there yet though, but they get another 3rd curse, and with that 3rd curse here right now, they are suddenly in a position where they can maybe even push another keep. They already took out 1, and they dropped percentages of the core. It's now only at 85 as the boss dies, 84 actually. At the bottom lane, the Arthurs is already moving in towards that 4 and is trying to take this one down as well. That would bring them closer to the 20, and they already have an entire level up on Ouiski Coca. 19 versus 18. That's the current standings in the... Well, that's currently the the levels that we see for both teams. And what else do we see there? We have in the mid lane Ouiski, Ravi and Exploding starting to defend the mid keep. The bottom keep, of course, is lost 19.5. That's the levels that we're currently having here. What about the mid lane? That's where we see Alternate starting to move in again. They are going straight for that. Another Night Camp is moving in as well, and with the curse still up, I mean, there is no defending this. There's nothing really that they can do against that. So very unfortunate here for Ouiski Coca, of course. But Alternate is playing a great game. Turning these things around after they lost the initial fights was really well done here. And now Alternate is just rotating from one spot to another. They're taking one camp after the next. They're trying to push that in now. They have one mercenary camp pushing the bottom, another one pushing the middle, and they have now the entire team lined up at the top to take that. They're starting to move in. And what is Ouiski Coca gonna do? The Uther is already dead though. He got hooked and killed here. And we have another Void Prism being used to isolate Gluehammer. Gluehammer might die here as well. He's already slowed down. Here comes Syndragosa. Mopsio is in the middle of things, quite literally. Ravi is back and Arthurs dies now, but he still has Resurgence up. Bloat is not done yet though. The Zeratul goes in and slows down Gluehammer once again. The hook misses. How did that miss? How on God's green earth did that hook miss? It looked like it really connected, but apparently it didn't. That early kill against the Uther that we just barely saw there was really well done. So Ouiski got a prediction hook in. Could say he got a bit lucky there, but of course predicting these hooks is something that you really need to try and learn when you're playing on Stitches. Looking at the talents and talking about the hook here once again, looking at the build that we have the fishing hook talent for him, of course. We see here Chew Your Food, the Vile Cleaver and Tenderizer, which is more of a right-click build for the Stitches that we don't see all that often, but it's becoming more and more popular. Besides that, we have the Resurgence now up there. Another attempt by Alternate to go down here and maybe pick someone out. But we have at the bottom, oh, actually very well done by Bloat here. He moved in and dropped the keep and just simply B-spec. That was actually really well done. Didn't even see him on the minimap there until the fort was taken out. So great job by the Zeratul. That was that keep that was so low in hit points earlier on that they couldn't really do anything with it. So at this point now it's once again about the boss, and the boss just spawned. Here comes that attack or the rotation, the eats. Where is that Void Prism? Do we have it up? Doesn't really look like it. There it is. Great Void Prism this time. And Syndragosa is moving in. What a stun by Krolu. Exploding is moving away. Uses his shotgun on the last second. Krolu is extremely low, but so is the Stitches. They are moving away. The Stitches killed. They didn't have the, they had the 20 yet, but apparently he did not skill Resurgence. Nasty on the hammer, moves back but gets stunned, and this might conclude this game. 20 versus 20, the talents here, and another keep is being dropped as Alternate moves in the bottom keep, taking the lane, taking that, dropping it right now, and this is, of course, putting more and more pressure now on Team Ouiski Coca. Two heroes, they have two heroes down. Let's look at the 20s. What did Stitches take? Stitches took Blink, but he could apparently not blink away in time. We have also Advanced Lava Strike, which is definitely going to help them here. Looking down to the boss, it's of course now taken by Team Alternate. And, well, with the Nova down there on the triple tap, she got a blink on level 20 here as well. So, right now, there's not really a whole lot that Ouiski Coca can do. They need to wait for another fight. There's only one tribute that has been taken by Alternate, so it's not like the next tribute is gonna end the game. That's not gonna happen. We have, at the bottom lane though, the boss that of course has to be dropped as fast as they can, and 20 minutes in, that boss already has a lot of HP and hits like a truck. It's trying to move in towards the core, might actually be able to oh no, goes for the tower first here, of course. I don't think it's gonna get any additional hit points off the core, but still, the second boss that comes in is also gonna have to be dealt with, and that will most likely result in a second tribute ending up in the hands of Alternate. Tribute should spawn in the meantime. That would be tribute number 2. Ouiski Coca can let that go. They can let the tribute go. They don't have to fight for it if there is one. So far we don't see one on the map, but it's one of the things that they couldn't pull off. This is such a close game. We're 20 minutes in right now, and the game is extremely close. It looks like Alternate might actually try to fight with the boss here and end the game, get an early kill, and then carry that into an advantageous position so that they can drop the core. But we have the tribute on the map, so they could also just decide to move back and wait for another curse. Down here, let's see, Bloat is already moving back. Nasty on the hammer. Here comes the Eats. Eats that up. Oh, that Void Prism is again so damn good. And look at how fast the Anubarak is being dropped here. He has Resurgence up. Krolu moves in for the stun. They just rush, they bum rush the core here with everything that they have. And they might have enough. Gluhammer is nearly dead, but the core is down to 28. And Alternate, they lose the Arthurs, but they win the game. GG! As Alternate wins their first game at the HCL in the first Playday. Congratulations to them, triumphant over Ouiski Coca. Let's get ready to rumble. The best of one on Garden of Terror is on. We have Millenium aka El Nexo facing SK Gaming. Starting to the left side of the map we have El Nexo. They joined Millenium apparently today. Vortex is playing the Reina. Garan Paquete is playing the Brightwing. Alastor on the Tychus. And we have LOL vs XD on the Zeratul, whereas Lucifer of course is on the Arthurs again. BKB has picked up his Panda. We have the Scape on the Anubarak, Whip Shout on the Uther at the right side of the map, and SK Gaming's BZ playing the Vala, linked on the Tacita today. The HCL in the best of one format. We are on our first Playday, and so far we've seen amazing games. It was extremely enjoyable, and let's find out who is going to win the last game of the day. Our next Playday is going to be on Thursday, and I hope that you all are going to tune in for that. Right now we have the players just getting in position. We have Anubarak and Chen here for SK. The bans in the game were Tychus, and then... no, actually, sorry, not the Tychus. It was the... Stitches. Stitches was banned, and the Abathur. Stitches was banned by Millenium, by El Nexo, because they know that that's one of the highest prioritized heroes for SK. Oh, Rumble in the jungle. There we go with a nice Howling Blast by Lucifer, but he gets stunned by the Scape here. At the end of the day, though, this is not going to do too much. So, well done by both teams. Just having a bit of a skirmish there. Just not too much, bruising up a bit. And yeah, it was well done, but yeah, as I said, like in the end, it didn't really accumulate to anything. There was no kill or that we saw there. Oh, talking about kills, BZ got apparently like one penetrating round full in the face and needs a dentist now, because that definitely cost a few T's. Down here we have Vortex on the Reina, doing a great job with that, getting the damage in. We have SK still trying to catch their first camp here, getting the Giants, the Sea Giants. In the middle of the lane we have, what do we see there? We actually like see Whip Shout and also linked in position. Yeah, going straight for the seeds now that the night approached. The first time that we see Garden of Terror today, and I kind of missed the map a little bit. Just at the weekend in the invitationals that we cast, it was only Garden of Terror. This time it's different. Oh, here comes Linked. And nice. Once more SK rotates to help out their fellow comrades and pushes Millenium, aka El Nexo, back. We have in the seed count roughly the same, 17 versus 13. Vortex is starting to take the seats at the left side of the map and is already starting to look towards the right side. Let's see, maybe he gets an opportunity to take one of the heroes out. I kind of doubt it this early in the game, but he's doing a great job on the Reina so far, pushing BZ back on the Vala. In the mid lane, that's where most of the trouble is headed now. The mercenary camp has already been taken out, didn't really do too much damage to the wall here, but the rotation up to the top, lying in wait in the bushes and just waiting for an SK hero to approach. So, here they go for Grand Paquete. The Brightwing is getting stunned once. There comes the Howling Blast by Lucifer though. El Nexo, Millenium, they're moving in, trying to do the damage here. And LOL vs 60 jumping back in the last second. BKB needed to move back into the range of the healing ward. The Scape and Linked are still with the team. 5 versus 5 right now. Sorry, level 5 versus level 5 now, and we have both of the big terrors, big of the shamblers, still up. To the bottom lane we have still BZ for SK Gaming, soaking up the experience, and Vortex actually with a zebra that he uses there. Oh, up to the top we have another fight between Millenium and SK with the first victim. The first blood is the Uther, and BKB might well be the second hero to die here. Gran Paquete is just barely escaping, but the Chen is dead. Well, it looks like Millenium is looking at this and says, like, only a dead panda is a good panda. They can't really drop a Lily since we never see a Lily in competitive games, but the Chen is their priority target after the Uther died. And Linked is just barely escaping, but well, at least he was able to survive that last battle. So down to the bottom, we currently have Vortex still pushing in. BZ was apparently so far pushed in and taken out that he needed to be back now and heal up. Oh, apparently like he cancelled the B, waits for the... No, he goes back in and soaks up some experience, as it seems, and then moves back. The seats have been taken by Millenium now. Up to the top, we have the rotation of SK going for the Shamblers as well. Lucifron is on the move already, though, and he is accompanied by Alastor and also LOL vs XT. They are moving in again. Nice. BKB is in trouble there, but Lucifron gets rooted by the Shambler, and therefore no chance for SK to do anything about it. So suddenly we have the seats taken, even more seats taken for Millenium. They already have a plan growing. It's only 39 seats that we see for SK Gaming. They're trying to take now one camp after another. It's 2 kills versus 0 in favor of Team Millenium. And it looks like it's going to be LOL versus XT who goes straight for the plant. Going to take control of the plant as soon as that has been attacked. They're trying to attack maybe even the hard camp. No, only the top camp. So in case that you were wondering why he was waiting there before he took the plant, it's pretty simple. Once the Garden Terror appears on the map, the mercenary camps disappear. So what you are trying to do is attack the mercenary camp just before you take the garden plant. You can grab the mercenaries and then you move in with the plant, and you have plant pushing one lane and the mercenaries the other. So that's why they are were bribing the top lane mercenaries here. The siege giants are now pushing in, and that forces BZ, of course, to stay up on the lane, whereas Brightwing can jump to the bottom if he's needed there. And that's where LOL vs XT is now starting to push the first wall in. The mid lane is being attacked by 2. We have Alastor and Lucifron starting to move in. Lucifron, by the way, is like wearing that skin on the Arthurs, this white knight skin, like this good guy Arthurs thing. And I feel it fits so well to Lucifron. Usually most people go for the bad guy image, but Lucifron, he's the white knight here, the Spanish prince. The Spanish Armada has been doing really well in this game too so far. We have level 10 already versus level 9. And as the top is being pushed in, the only thing that SK wants is level 10. They want the experience. The bottom wall has been completely dropped, and that's exactly what we're seeing LOL vs 16 now doing in the middle as well. Moves in, drops the tower, drops the wall, has another 9 seconds there, and it's going for the escape. Nah, he's not going to get that. He's going to get the well. Takes the well and maybe another plant. Not quite. Here comes Vortex. Wow, they're really going ham now on that 4-2. Like dropping that already to half HP. Even more than that. They really want that. A great Void Prism hitting 3. And Tassadar already in Archon form. Whipshot thinking about moving in and dropping heroic ability, but they drop the Tassadar. Wow. El Nexo, aka Millenium, like they get the fort, they get a kill, and they get a second kill in. Holy cow, like these guys are just so damn good, it's scary. It's really scary. And they just move on to take another mercenary camp as well. 4 kills versus 0, 12 versus 10. Looking at the talents here. Reyna, give me more advanced optics and the searing attack. A pretty standard build for him that we see here. Overkill build for Alastor. LOL vs 60 with gathering power and rending claws. Nothing out of the ordinary in builds. We have Rancor, Manticore and Searing Arrow for BZ, so a full right-click build for Vala. Getting a bit popular these days again. Vala, great hero when it comes to diversity. So many different builds for her currently out there. To the bottom lane, Lucifron on level 13 going for the Night Camp, level 10 for SK. And for SK this is getting a bit nasty. Like they have to think about, okay, what are we gonna do next? We need to get those levels, we need to just close the gap in experience. That demands, like, that kind of means we have to fan out. The problem with that is that right now the phase in the game where you wanna just like put a hero on each lane is kind of over. You wanna 5-man at it. You want to roam together as 5 or at least 4, having the Bright Winging if you're having in the team somewhere else to jump in with a Fall, so you can do the same. SK doesn't have that option, they have neither, so they need to be really careful how they do that. And the seeds become more and more important, which is why we have both teams going immediately for the seeds. And as the bottom is taken, we see Millenium moving now up to the top and trying to take down the big horror there, or at least contest that. And they could really put that off again. Oh, and they go straight for it. Oh god, BKB is completely isolated here. And we see the triple panda action. BKB losing his heroic ability to escape, cannot use it in the fight now, and they are losing a lot more seats because of that. That entire thing is currently taken out. So the Odin has been popped too, but that is getting them very close to a double plant now. They are already having one plant waiting, and it is actually Lucifron this time that moves in. It is not LoL versus 60. After that, they still have 75 seeds versus 84. So that's the second plant for them already. Extremely well done there. Up to the top lane, we have them pushing in now with 3 heroes. The plant itself is moving towards more the middle. Changes actually direction up to the top to drop this fort. BZ is already waiting there. BZ is waiting in position as the tower gets taken out. Level 15 versus 12. That means that we still have that extra talent for them that they can utilize now. And that makes it just so difficult for SK to do anything. Counter pushing doesn't work if you have a plant against you. It's just like too strong. So the only option that you have is defending and delaying as much of the damage as you can. 16 versus 13 at 3-level lead, which is insane right now. And in the best of 1, this is of course a horrible position to be in. In the best of 3, at least if you lose a game, you have another chance to bounce back. But these teams have been practicing, their comps have been swimming a lot to win in this league. $2,500 are on the line for the first place. And here comes El Nexo, now freshly joined Millenium, moving into keep range. They already dropped the wall at the keep. We have them going straight in once again. The pot is being dropped by Lucifron, getting the damage in against the core. Missing actually the tower down here. Vortex. Oh, the Void Prism against BZ, and the immediate attempt to take down Escape. He moves into the Void Prism in the last second. The Rain of Vengeance is being dropped by BZ, stunning the first target here. But it is the Anubarak that is way too low, and he could die there. No, he moves away somehow, but BKB is not so lucky. He is taken down by 5, and they just completely right-click that keep into oblivion, take that down. 4 levels ahead now for Millenium, and they might just try to core it at this point. They're already moving in. Linked is in trouble. He's trying to get away there on his Transformer skin, and it looks like Millenium, at least for now, is calling it quits. Moves back and just says like, alright boys, this is it. The Panda is back in 2 seconds, but now they are suddenly being chased, and they turn it around. They're going for Whip Shout. Whip Shout is dropped. Oh god, the Escape is dead too. It looked like maybe SK could get a kill or two since El Nexo, since Millenium was already moving back, but they simply turn around and drop 2 more heroes, and that leaves them with a massive lead in experience and also the map control to take now the camps. Looking at the talents again, we have for them now taken double Stone Skin. We have also the Berserk and the Giant Killer for the Reina, which makes him an absolute tank killer. Like if he turns around and has both of those abilities up, the Searing Arrows and the Berserk, he can just dish out so much damage. It is absolutely incredible. In damage, he's only on rank 3 right now with 20,000, behind the Arthurs and the Tigers, but still, that single target DPS that he has is out of this world, and that's something that the Chen and the Anubarak had to experience firsthand in this game already. So, we have both camps taken out for Millenium, and Millenium has 7 kills against 0. They are dominating this map right now, and this is once more about the seeds. The desperate attempt by SK to get 1 plant. They didn't have a plant in the game yet, and they might lose the Chen here. He goes into the triple panda form. Another Void Prism, this time released as they are trying to drop the Uther, and Whip Shout goes down, and now it is Chen who just simply jumps away. We have BZ dropping a Rain of Vengeance also running, and that's what we've seen SK doing most of the game. They've been running away from their opponent, and I mean, you can't really blame them for that, considering that they're so far down in experience. They're several levels down. That is of course extremely crucial when it comes to the stats, as another hero gets dropped, the Chen taken out. Already 10% lost on the core, and it's just like seed time for Millenium. They're taking seed after seed, and this is just underlining once again why we have currently Millenium, or El Nexo, whatever you want to call them, the Spanish Armada, in such a dominant form. They are taking every tournament on Europe right now. They are winning everything. They are doing so incredibly well, and they are showcasing their skills here at the HCL Playday 1. Level 18 versus 15, still not the 16 talent for SK. They have not gotten the seeds yet for a plant on their own. They only need 7, and they will get those 7 seeds. I think, I hope, I guess they might not. They're not even getting the 7 seeds. This is insane. They didn't have a plant yet. They did not have a single plant, and right now it looks very much like we're going to see a double plant for the Spanish Armada. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. SK is an extremely good team. It's not like SK has not played this game before or doesn't know how to play that. They've just been in several finals in invitationals, but they are now with the back to the wall. They are losing one fight after another. They gained the level 16 talent, but they are up against a plant again, and it's actually 2 plants back to back that they have to face now. So this is going to become even more difficult for them to hold. Down to the bottom lane, the Brightwing is still helping to push in the lane with the Knights, but he of course can blink in, which he does right now. Up there he goes, Reyna's Raiders are there, Linked is dropped in experience and hit points, and that Void Prism hitting 3. BZ down there with a Rain of Vengeance, but he goes down, and now the Void Prism released. Whip Shout is killed by the plant, gets a tree trunk into the face right of the head and splits his skull. Lucifron is doing so much damage on the plant already. 15 minutes in, not a single hero has died in this game for El Nexo, for the Spaniards, but maybe they get like a kill. Lolver 16. No, he jumps away, and the Chen is dead now too. The Nubarak and the Tacita somehow get away now, but it looks like this core might fall right here. They might not even need the second plant. They're already jumping in. LOL vs 60 is everywhere, jumping from the left to the right, from the right to the left. And the last day of Playday number 1 ends in favor of Millenium. The Spaniards take it. Only the Zeratul gets killed in the game. Congratulations to Millenium, aka El Nexo, for a perfect play here at the first HCL Playday versus SK Gaming.